Okay, I hope maybe people can and hear me. I tried to. Thank you. Uh, Sorry about those technical difficulties. We tested it. It worked fine. I responded. I responded to some test questions as we tried to figure it out, and so looks like maybe we're set. I hope it stays. I hope it stays connected. I'm going to so people can reconnect. I did get a couple of texts while it wasn't working, so I hope it stays. I hope we stay good. And it looks like chat is working since I'm seeing some folks join in. So sorry for the technical difficulties. Again, I don't know. Maybe of day we tested it during the school day, and it seemed to be fine. But so yeah. Hopefully we're, I'm seeing 25 people in the room right now, it looks like, but not sure. Okay, looks like I'm hearing people say horrible connection and those kind of things. So okay, how's it? So okay, I'm not really sure how to solve this at this moment. That we're having a bad connection. Let me consider something here. Okay. Well, the good news is that the chat is working. So the point of trying to do YouTube instead of Facebook was that, or like a Zoom call, is that we could get more people to be able to interact. Some people don't have Facebook accounts, and some people don't. The Zoom would have not been. We would have almost be full already with 35 people in a Zoom meeting. We'd be filling up fast. So I guess I'm just going to go ahead and hope that it stays so you can hear me, and we'll go from there. So if things aren't coming through and you don't hear something, I'll have the chat log, I believe, when we're done, and I can always go through and answer them. Answer questions that come in via email. So I guess I just want to say thanks for joining us. I hope that you're having a good and safe summer, and that you and your family are staying healthy. I know I'm somewhat exhausted from this summer, but it's also there's been a lot of good stuff going on too. So in fact, I'd like to start with some good news. Several pieces of good news, actually. I feel like we can all use some good news. Our enrollment is up right now. It's been up throughout most of the summer, which is good. We are having some families who are choosing different options, but we're also having families who are choosing Blessed Sacrament. So that's really encouraging. And I did a couple of tours today. We're up to, I believe, 19 in kindergarten, which is a really great news and a great sign. We also have been fully accredited by the Catholic Schools Accreditation Association. For those of you who know anything about this process, it's pretty intense, and we've been working on it for the last couple of years in getting our accreditation. And that is, we received word at the end of June that we've been fully accredited. It's a 5-year cycle, so we'll get back at that again in a couple of years. But we've been talking a little bit about that as the school year goes on, and some of the goals we set for ourselves through that process. Great. I see a chat comment come through. So that means at least some of my words are reaching you all. So that was really exciting. Special thanks, especially to Mrs. Bennis and Mrs. Matthews, Mrs. Wolf, who were on that accreditation team with me and did a lot of work to make that happen. So I'm really grateful for their partnership in that. We have a preschool. that's super good news. I think it's long overdue, and we are really happy to welcome Mrs. Macklem. I think she's already impressing a lot of folks here at in our office, and I think it's going to be a great thing for our school to have a preschool and to be able to introduce new families, um, uh, to Blessed Sacrament in our community at that age. So that's super exciting. I think it's a sign of great things to come for our school. Can I wipe off my camera? I can try. I don't know if that made things better or worse. So really excited to have a preschool. I think it's going to be fantastic. If you're a preschool parent, I know Mrs. Macklem was working on getting some information together to get out to you this week. So hopefully you'll be seeing our handbook come out to you and some other information and just kind of a welcome to your child. So it's going to be great. Other good news, we have Chromebooks for every student in every classroom from grades 2 through 8. So while I'm not going to call us a one-to-one school because we're not going to be sending them home on a regular basis or anything like that, but it's a nice upgrade to our technology, and I think will make some of the classwork that's happening just a little smoother, and the upgrade in technology is really going to be nice. So that's really exciting. K1 will still have their iPads that they use regularly in their classroom. On the technology front, we have been working really hard, our staff and myself and Mrs. Jones, on the training for Digital Academy, which is our replacement for SchoolSpeak. We really believe that it's going to be far more streamlined communication for families when it comes to grades and assignments and just a whole host of things related to our school. Forms will be, I hate to say all online, but almost all online for this year. So our plan right now is that we'll send out, some of you may have gotten an onboarding email from Digital Academy already. It was doing some of that automatically, which we didn't expect. But if you haven't seen that yet, you shouldn't have. It's we're going to send out onboarding emails to our families on the plan is on Monday, and that'll let you get connected. And if all goes well, you'll see your opening school year forms, all of the technology use form and the image rights form, and all of those kind of all those things that you would normally do on the first that first night of school and turn in all those pieces of paper. That's going to be moved largely online. So that's good. Now, with any new technology, there's probably going to be a bit of a learning curve. It's new for us, it's new for parents, it's new for students. So we'll be working through that. I do think that you'll find it, if you're used to Facebook or other kinds of, interactive technology like that, I do think it's pretty intuitive for the users. So I don't think it's going to be, mind blowing when you see it, but we're gonna provide you some resources too on that. So I don't want to spend too much time just talking. I want to give time for questions, but I guess I'd really like to share just a couple of things that we've done overall related to COVID-19 guidelines and preparations that we've made here in the building. If you looked at the plan at all, it's a pretty comprehensive document and will probably grow as things go on. But you'll see lots of changes to school procedures when it comes to, our middle school kids won't be changing classrooms. They'll be staying in one class and teachers will come to them. We won't be changing for gym class anymore to prevent people from congregating and, to change for gym, that sort of thing. So lots of changes like that. We've ordered clear plastic dividers for every desk. They look kind of like study carrels. They were marketed as sneeze guards. So we've got those for every desk in the building for every child. I think I have to think with a lot of these things, our students are going to get used to it a lot quicker than we are. But that's something we've done. Along the same lines, we were excited that the health department encouraged us to have students eat lunch in the lunchroom. And so along those lines, we've also ordered some clear dividers for our lunch tables that will allow students to sit together at lunch and still be able to, in some ways interact. We are adding water bottle fill-up stations, kind of like you might have seen at the Y or something like that. Since we don't want kids using their mouths on the water fountains. And you probably saw on supply list, we asked for water bottles, but we've added those kind of tall water bottle fill-up stations. I should say we're adding them. They're not here yet, but we're adding them to do that. We're expecting later this week. I meant to confirm this before the workday ended, and I did not, but I'm pretty sure later this week we're going to have ionizers installed in our ventilation system. It's another safety precaution. And on a lot of these things, I would just really need to say thanks to Jim Wysant, the parish business manager, who's been, he's just done a ton of stuff facilities wise to help us get ready for reopening. So all that is, really super exciting. And, I can't wait to have students back in the building with us this year. It's going to be fantastic. So a couple of things that I want to make sure I say before I open it up for questions. So here are some things that we're counting on you as parents and guardians to do on your end. The biggest thing is going to be that sort of morning health screening, temperature checks. You'll hear me say a lot, the county health department or the health department, we have talked with them over and over and over again this summer. They've been awesome. They understand what it means to try to run a school in this environment and are really helping us to think through a lot of things. So we've relied on their guidance document a lot, and we've asked them a lot of specific questions. Fortunately, Nurse Kelly is a health department employee, so we have an in, and she's able to get some answers for questions too. So that morning health check is important. You may have heard that some schools or businesses are asking parents to take, or asking schools to take the temp before the child comes into the building. And our health department says they think that's not a workable plan for a number of reasons. So we're asking you to do that at home. And along with that is that, this will be a change in my household for sure. In the past, if one of my kids comes downstairs and says, "Dad, I'm not feeling well," my instinct is, okay, well, go ahead and get dressed for school, suck it up, and you'll probably be feeling better by lunchtime. And we really can't do that anymore in this environment. We want to make sure we're being safe and that we're not taking chances like that. So, chances are your kids are going to stay home more often this year because we don't want them to try it. If they're showing some symptoms that might be virus-related symptoms, then we want you to keep them home. So that, again, I said that'll be a change in my house. Surely it'll be a change in some of your houses as well when it comes to that in the mornings. Couple of recommendations. The health department is recommending that you, if it's possible, to limit the numbers of students on school buses to bring them to school. If it's possible, great. Every school district that we've connected with, save one, has said buses will be running. One of them said, there's still some conversation going on. I don't expect that to not happen. They're required to bus our students. So that's still going to be happening. But I just wanted to put it out there. If they are riding the bus, it'd be great to have some monitoring of bus stops and make sure kids are being distant, and just remind, especially your younger kids, to stay distant on the bus stops. What else do I want to say? That's a lot of what you can do to help, is just those morning health checks, temperature checks. Make sure you're paying attention to your kid's symptoms, and if the sniffles are just allergies or if there might be something else going on there. So it's one of the challenging things about this virus, of course. Two more things, and then I'll open it up to questions in chat if you have any questions. So we wrote a 9-page or whatever it is plan, and it's all but guaranteed that we're going to get here in 2 weeks when students arrive, and we're going to say, "Didn't think of that, did we?" And we'll have to change things on the fly. So we know that's coming. In fact, it happened today as we were talking about kids and cell phones. We're like, oh, we're not going to want kids to put their cell phones all in one box as they've done for years. So we're going to come up with another plan for that. Normally they would have dropped them off in their homeroom, all of the cell phones in one box. So those kind of little details. One of our teachers said we really have to think almost minute by minute throughout the school day and how things are different this year. So some of the plans will surely change. That's why we want to make sure it's a live document, and we'll update it as we get new guidance. We still haven't seen the governor's mask order. I haven't seen it. It may have come out this afternoon, but the wording of it. So that may necessitate some changes to our plan when it comes to face coverings. But anyway, we just want you to be flexible with this. and as we have to make some changes as we discover it. And I guess the other thing I want to say is, it is a virus that's contagious, and it may very well be that one of our students or one of our staff members gets it during the course of the school year. You might say that it's likely, given that it's a virus that's contagious. And the reason I say that is because I want us all to sort of be prepared for that. And our health department says if that happens, it's not a cause for panic. You'll see a section in our plan that will. You'll see a section in our plan that talks about what happens if someone tests positive, and that information comes straight from the health department. And if we have a positive test, we're going to go straight to them and rely on their guidance for what kind of communications and who would be asked to quarantine and those kind of things. So that's what the plan is for now. So I'm starting to see some questions come through. So I'm going to go ahead and start answering them as they come in so I don't miss them. So it may feel a little bit disjointed, but I'm going to answer them. So will we be having school masses? The answer is yes, we will. The plan for that, all of our students don't fit in to the church under current guidelines. Because if you've been to Blessed Sacrament Church or maybe your own church, we've got every other pew blocked off. So we don't all fit as a school in there as is. So what we're doing is we're going to divide the school into groups of basically 3 different groups, and a third of the school will go to school mass on Wednesday mornings, and a third on Thursday mornings, and a third on Friday mornings. Father Lonzo and I both were in instant agreement that we're a Catholic school and we still want our kids attending mass once a week. So that's going to be the plan. You'll know which day your particular